Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of Props of the Week. In this edition of Props of the Week, we'll be doing UFC Fight Night, Bautista versus Oliveira. And as always, you got a crackdown with Promo Bets, giving you our props for the week. So props of the week, we give you our props of the week. So for this week, we got 4 props. And let's get into the first one. First one, a juicy one, Almeida and Kuniev to go the distance. Decision at plus 200. Great value. So if either guy wins and goes the distance, 200. Almeida has not particularly been a great finisher at this weight class to begin with. So it's not like he's some great finisher. Like, he don't have no great submission upside if he's going with a larger heavyweight, a competent larger heavyweight. And Kuniev is definitely a sizable heavyweight, and he definitely is more than competent. Like, he has good grappling back on good strike. So it'd be kind of hard to imagine him submitting Kuniev. I can see maybe him taking down and grinding Kuniev to a decision. And I can see Kuniev respecting the grappling of Almeida and not really committing as much to strikes. So I can see this fight where they kind of stall each other out. Definitely either guy can win this fight. This fight's up for grabs, and that's why Kuniev is one of the better dogs with this card. So this fight could easily go to distance. So the fact that the fight going to distance at plus 200, I think that is a still of a value. Like, again, this is a volatile fight, but there's a lot more volatile fights and way less value on other stuff. So the fact that plus 200 on the most likely, well, I'll say the most likely outcome of this fight, that it goes to distance, at plus 200, I think that's a great value. And especially if you like an Almeida. Again, Almeida has shown multiple times, like against Derek Lewis, he couldn't get the finish. Against Volkov, he couldn't get the finish. He had him down a good chunk of the fight. Matter of fact, he had Lewis down like 14 minutes of 15 minutes or something. Could not submit him. He had Volkov down probably like 7-8 minutes. Got nowhere near close to a finish. So I don't know why so much upside thinking that Almeida's gonna get some finish. If anything, Almeida, if he wins, it's probably be a grinded out decision. So if you like Almeida, that's a good prop. And even if you don't like Almeida, that's a good prop. So plus 200 on Almeida Kuniev to go the distance is a great prop. The next one, we got Jacoby by KO at plus 165. We've seen his opponent getting rocked by a tomato can and barely holding on for dear life and just eking by. And Jacoby's a much sharper striker than his previous opponent and anyone he has ever fought. And also, Jacoby has had a pretty good track record of putting these prospects out of there. We've seen him knock Petrino out. He's knocked some other guys out. It's been a couple of guys, but he has a good track record of stopping, solid prospects. And I don't think this current opponent is some exceptional prospect based on his last performance. Whether he goes on to be one in the future, but right now his perspective is not looking all that great right now. And this is a great time for Jacoby to put him out, especially if he come in there and don't underestimate him. Jacoby comes in there and does what he do. It's a good fight for Jacoby to get a stoppage, and also he gets stoppage other than KO. He's not gonna sub him. But yeah, Jacoby by KO at plus 165 plus money on a very likely outcome. Another good prop. That's as simple as you can say it. Next one, we got Vinicius Oliveira by KO or decision at plus 155. Oliveira is definitely a finisher, or he does have finishing upside, and it is 5 rounds. So that's a lot of time to get a finish. But also, it covers the decision prop as well. Like, Oliveira has been going the distance a lot too. Like, as much as he's a killer, his last 2 fights been went the distance. Like, Nurmagomedov went the distance. Who else he fought? He fought I think Kyler Phillips went the distance. So at this higher level, it seems like he's not getting finishes as much. Like, 5 rounds is a lot of time, but it's also one of those fights where you're banging you're banking on him to get a finish. And it might be one of those cases where it just turns out to be him getting close to the finish a couple of times, but him just outworking him. But I do like Oliveira a lot here in this spot. Like, Bautista is mentally weak, and 5 rounds is a long time to be mentally weak. So Oliveira to get it done in distance by KO, or for him to get a decision victory, one of like eke by a real close split decision type victories either way, or a dominant decision, however it may be. This covers the case if he don't fully perform, but still gets the job done and wins the fight. So KO or decision plus money, plus 155, great value. And it's not like Oliveira's going to submit Bautista. So two most likely outcomes if Oliveira does win, a KO or decision, still getting that plus money. So it covers the basis for Oliveira win, both of the bases. So, and then last but not least, we got Segula and Cachoeira to go to distance, or not to go to distance. That's the not to go to distance at minus 1.5. Not the greatest value on that. It is pretty volatile because Cachoeira does got power. Her only path to victory is like stoppage. She's not really a decisionator. But then again, Cachoeira is a finisher. Like, so that covers her base. Like, she's gonna knock you out. Like, if she wins, it's by knockout. And then Segula's been training with Kayla Harrison and I think some other chick that's a solid graph, like larger graph. They like 135ers. Kayla Harrison really a 45 or 55. So he's training with these women. She might be the puncher bag. She's more likely to punch it bag, but maybe she's learning something about the punch it bag. And maybe she's able to get the finish. I'm not really seeing a Segula finish, but maybe Segula by submission. Maybe that's something she's been working on. And Cachoeira, she got that power upside, and Cachoeira don't win decision. So if Cachoeira don't win decision, she knock you out. So Cachoeira does win, she does cover that prop. So at not plus, but minus 145, it's close to even money. So pretty solid prop there. Like, because again, Cachoeira, that's her only path to victory, stopping you. She's not gonna wrestle you. She's not gonna point fight you. She's gonna knock your head off. So Cachoeira wins, prop is covered. And by the rare, it might be that rare occasion, like you banking on the chick, knock him out, and somehow she discerns at 40 years old, she decides to turn to a grappler and gives a decision, mess things up. But hey, that's gambling. Like, stuff happens. You gotta be prepared for stuff to happen, but that's extremely unlikely that Cachoeira is going to turn to a decisionator. So mainly that your concern is Segula doing Segula things and getting a decision, but Segula, given the fact that Cachoeira is coming off a knockout loss, coming off a couple finish loss, yeah, you can get the submission finish, maybe a TKO, and maybe the chin a little bit softer than it's been in the past. Maybe Dorbilly's no longer there. But again, the main thing here is Cachoeira, the underdog in this fight, her main path to victory is covered. So it's also good hedge props. So don't always look at props as just purely the prop himself. They can also play his head, and this is definitely a great hedge prop. Because the cover is, again, Cachoeira's only path to victory, or like a 99 percentile. But yeah, those have been our props of the week. How do you feel about them, all the props, Pro Smo?
Bro, it's a banger. Just starting with Almeida, man. We know he's an elite grappler. Had a first-round sub on Rosenstruck, who's in jail now. A ground and pound on Shamil Abdabukronov. Showed stamina and control with Derek Lewis. So we know he has pace. But he's up against a Sanda kickboxer, a well-rounded guy in Kuniev. At plus 200 decision. I mean, it looks like what we saw against him and Volkov foreshadows what we're going to see here with Kuniev. So I think Kuniev's going to be smarter than just trying to throw overhands and finish this. Or if he's technical, he'll give the opportunity for Jelton to try and, work him against the wall there, the octagon wall. And talking about cage control, man, Walker, and Dustin Jacoby being a technical striker first. Jacoby's always a forward moving. It's going to be interesting to see what Walker's reach is committed to there. So very strong, for a counter fighter with high pressure like that in Dustin Jacoby, to get this knockout, right? And you have Vinicius Oliveira by decision. He's facing all these grapplers.
KO or decision.
KO or decision.
Oliveira's KO or decision because he's been getting decision lately.
Right, and facing those grapplers, I mean, I don't think he's fought a striker yet. So, I mean, this is a great opportunity for Mario Bautista, and him to really showcase that. There has to be some grappling, though, man, and I don't see no offensive grappling from Mario Bautista as it is. And Vinicius on the money line is something I'm playing myself, so I love this prop. And then you have Claudia Segula, right? Claudia Segula and ATT fighter now sparring with Kayla Harrison's team and Claudia Segula for overhands and uppercuts that, like you mentioned, Priscilla Cachoeira possesses. How are we overlooking a line, this good at minus 145 for it not to go the distance? Let's go.
Yeah. So those are the props of the week. Going to run through them real quick once again. Almeida Kuniev to go the distance, decision at plus 200. Jacoby by KO at plus 165. Vinicius Oliveira to get a KO or decision at plus 155. And Segula Cachoeira not to go the distance. So not to go the distance at minus 145. So those are the props of the week from me, King of Crackdown and Pro Smo Bets. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.